Rock. What's great, y'all? I'm Henry Rock Johnson, and you are now tuned in to Roc Radio. Today, I have my brother and my co-host, Thrizz13. Don't forget the 1-3 with me.
Don't forget.
And today, 2025, AI is taking music over, or is it?
Taking the world over.
No, we just talking about music. That's a whole nother discussion. So, some may debate that it's taking the soul out of music. Some people think it's a great tool because it lowers the entry barrier even more in technology. What do you think of AI in music right now?
Well, it's definitely groundbreaking. I think the people who aren't real artists, those people who aren't real creatives or don't really have the gift, I think it works for them, but it gives them opportunity to saturate the game as they already have, which is why music is in the state that it's in. So, however, I see us as creatives working with AI, being original, but allowing it to help with the kinks, not be the majority. I meant more of a
Compliment, not a crutch. Yes, because I feel that it's a great tool when you're in the jam. I wouldn't even say writer's block, because the way we were taught, if you're not telling the truth, then that's blocking your creativity. So that's another reason. That's why AI, I'm indifferent about it. I use it maybe for like captions for like Instagram and stuff like that. But I don't even think we've explored it yet, as we talked about it, but we haven't really explored it as writing lyrics. Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes some of the stuff that's generated on that is kind of cheesy, and you can tell that the human touch is not there. So I think that's my main feel.
Even with that, I feel like some of our best writers, I think it's going to take a long time for AI to be able to adjust to those specific nuances that we have as writers. Because the way we can take one word and make it touch your soul by stretching it out, and it's outside of the regular cadence that we have, especially when singing. You just holding the note. Or, for example, I don't see, at least for a while, I can't see AI creating a Whitney Houston moment. Who told her to do that? Who's the producer that told her to do that? Who told her to do that?
I don't know, but I know of that song that she sang, she actually got that from Dolly Parton. So maybe Dolly, had something to do with it too. I don't know if Dolly.
No, this is a guy. It's a male producer that she was working with. I don't think it was Quincy Jones. It
wasn't Q. I don't think Q was working with her. Like, I don't remember from my knowledge that she was working with Q, but Q worked with everybody, so I wouldn't be surprised that he was on that project as well. But let's get to some of the tools that we have available for us, like Lander. I use Lander. Like, Lander masters your beats, and it cuts. See, it's a double-edged sword, because it cuts down the guy who's went to Full Sail or went to SAE and spent years tuning his ear. But at the same time, people like us who just want a quick mix and master, throw our songs out on DSPs, it gives us that entry barrier. I don't have to pay somebody $200 for one song. I can pay $20 a month for this subscription, and it's going to be quality. It's going to be industry studio quality.
That you'll have a certain level of quality just by allowing it to do what it does. The interesting thing is, as you said, it takes away from those guys and what they develop. In the same way, I feel like that's what AI is doing. It's only taking what we have produced as humans as its reference point. And in everything that we do, whether that be prompts and information that it gives us, it's only giving us information from the work that we've done as humans. It's not necessarily, to my knowledge, it's not creating, it's not critically thinking on its own, because there's not a human brain to say, all right, we want to think like this person for everything. I think that would box it in a bit, because you take a smart person who's not a creative at all, and it's given, and you got a creative trying to get creative things out of a person who's not even in that field.
And the quote I've heard and seen on numerous occasions, this goes to people who fear AI. It's not AI taking your job. It's the person who knows how to utilize AI that will take your job. So in a sense, if you guys are interested, It's a book that I've read, Chat GPT Millionaire. And it shows you how to properly prompt Chat GPT so you can use it, optimizes its usage. You know, the way you prompt it. The more detailed you are with it, the more that you get out of it. So you still have to think. You can't just be like, hey, write me a song. Nah, bro. You gotta say, write me a song. I'm a platinum songwriter with 5 hits this year. Write me a song, an R&B song, a pop song. And after that, it'll give you a more detailed prompt because it'll put you in that mindset that you already are this platinum producer, or you already are this a million platinum artist or a diamond selling artist already. You know what I'm saying? So that gives it more fuel to the fire.
We'll give y'all a tip. He's absolutely right. Now, to go deeper into that, you want to give the AI those particular details. You can tell it to come from that persona, but then when you give it specifics, when you point it to it, when you upload those things and give it a reference point versus saying, come to me or write as a diamond selling artist, whatever, right? But when you give them those diamond albums or those diamond singles, now they have a real reference point to pull from, and it really gets in the granular detail for you and helps you. Interesting enough, you said, I think I came across something today where I was told that you could get a song in minutes. Speaking of AI, you can get a song in minutes.
And it's an app, it's a website?
It is a website for AI. Okay. It's called Boomy. And excuse me, not minutes. It says Boomy enables users to create original songs in seconds, even without prior and musical experience, and distribute them on major streaming platforms.
So if any of you guys familiar with this AI technology, or if it's something that we missed so far, because we only touched a couple of them, leave it in the comments below.
Did you see that video with Timbaland? There's a video I saw with Timbaland.
He finished the song
with the I know I was talking mess about that Whitney Houston moment, but the space that, oh my goodness, how it used the space and did everything. I don't know how well he prompted it. I don't know specifically what he used, but that's scary. But it's amazing at the same time, especially with him as Timbaland. And so you take a guy like that who's been dominating the game. He's a legend in the game.
Definitely.
He's excited about getting to work with Biggie. He's like, I never got to work with Biggie. And so now he's like, well, I get to work with Biggie. So I feel like the people who have won in the game, who have already did that thing, they see it as an opportunity to do something with music that they've never been able to do before. I think those who are more so independent and are getting it out of the mud, I think those are the ones that kind of fear it because they haven't even really gotten the opportunity to get that thing. They're building a catalog. They're putting so much money into the engineer and everything. And I was like, hold on, what? I can get a song mixed for what? For free? I can just give it to the computer. What? It changes so much.
It makes it more accessible. And like I said earlier, it lowers the entry level to people like us and other independent artists who trying to get it out the mud. But on the other side with that, you mentioned Biggie's been gone from us for nearly 30 years now. So the slippery slope where you get with this AI, especially as we start to see vocal recreations that if they aren't spot on, sound about at least 75 to 80% like the person. I don't know if you were familiar, it was like a Drake song that got dropped, but it was like completely AI. So in this slippery slope, you're getting to intellectual property. So as it becomes more mainstream, and then somebody's going to do it. I promise you, somebody's going to make a hit and mess around and erode it on ChatGPT for real. So who gets the credit for the song on that? Do I get the credit for the prompt? Or because once that gate busts open, I think everybody's we're just going to use ChatGPT to write our songs now. So who's going to get the credit?
And that's very interesting. Who's going to get the credit. That's a great topic. So I would say that's personally why I'm not using chat right now to produce anything for me lyrically. I still want everything to be coming out of my brain. And I don't have an answer for that. You don't have an answer for that. We haven't, as far as I know, there hasn't been a public announcement, at least to the music community on a broad scale, where it is saying, hey, it is okay to use these things and you can get paid if you use these things. I don't know. And I should.
Because this is along the same lines as a producer. We're getting a lot more of this royalty-free loops area. So that's another slippery slope. They say they're royalty-free. If I make a loop and then you make a hit out of it, I know that's my loop. I go back and get credit. What do you guys think? That's a slippery slope. So leave it in the comments below. Ask your musician friends what they think. Ask your mama, ask your daddy. Leave it in the comments below, because that's a real juicy topic where there's no resolve to it. That's going to be something that 10 years from now, I think once that floodgate opens, like the NIL in college football, if it doesn't get regulated, if it's not some type of regulation,
it can get bad.
It can get ugly.
Right. And right now we're talking about lyric generation. But you just spoke about beats.
Right.
So I was going to say, outside of just the loop aspect, if you allow AI to make the beat, is it going to be a situation where these people they're on the other side of the pie now? So do they get a piece of the sound recording now? And then it becomes like, how much of the pie do they get on the sound recording side because or the production side because they've done that? What is just scary to me, because I haven't seen any publication and it could be out, but I haven't seen anything, a major announcement regarding that in our ownership of music.
I don't think they got to that point yet, because really, who owns ChatGPT?
Right, and that's supposed to be OpenAI.
Right. So,
do you have OpenAI, but then who owns OpenAI? Who's on the board? How much ownership or equity do they have in the company? And is it a situation where the profits are split to those people? Because it's just like a Spotify. If you don't reach the threshold of tracks to get paid out, where does the money go to? Because it's not necessarily being said that they're going to hold it until you reach the threshold during that calendar year. So it's just like, where does all of that extra money go from the thousands or hundreds of thousands of artists that never met that threshold, but it's money there?
And it's a lot of platforms. I use, what's that called? TuneCore. So TuneCore has a publishing management company. The aspect of it, it's like $75. And they'll take care of that for you. They'll go out. So a lot of that has to deal with you being abreast with your PRO, being signed up with the PRO, and somebody else to collect royalties on your behalf. You got to have those systems set up, because other than that, you leave a lot of money on the floor.
Got you, man. Well, that's what's scary about it, is you see what happened with the film industry. They went on strike for so long. And so just to give you a backstory for a person like me, where I work with all of these companies, I got to work with stars, with BMF and series like P-Valley, Will Trent, True Lies, the Genius series, all of these different production companies that handle all of that. Everything stopped. All production, everything stopped simply because they went on strike. And you could write up a script in a minute and have a whole movie laid out. Now, whether that movie was great or not, I don't know. I haven't heard of any major films being done by a ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or all of these other ones. But if that happened in film, can we expect that to happen in music as well?
I think so. And the main debate is, outside of that, is, again, is it killing the soul? Is it revolutionary? Because it's making it accessible and easier to get into and to create. Is it just killing our creativity altogether? Because now we're looking at, I feel like making beats today. I'm gonna hit ChatGPT instead of getting inspired by life around you.
Right.
Because I think that's where the soul comes in the music part. Like, we get inspired by life around us. You know what I'm saying? And instead of me saying I'm about to go work out and go for a walk, and then I'm gonna create this great idea, or I'm looking at my son and my family, and I'm getting inspired by just their presence and their energy. I'm about to go write a song compared to I'm just about to stroll in the studio and I know I can just use ChatGPT. I think it has the ability to serve as a crutch. So even with Lander, another service they have is the sounds. So the royalty-free loops that we talk about, that I was talking about earlier in the episode. And I use loops. However, I get to a certain point where it's just I just need to step back because I've heard loops that I've used on commercials. So that's even prompted me, like, who's getting paid off of that?
Right.
Like, I use this loop in the beat and they use it and they got it placed. A lot of the sync placements require that you use original music. They don't want loops.
That's what I was gonna say. That's exactly what I was gonna say when we brought up royalty-free loops and AI creating things. We've read specific briefs from the majority of the sync placements. The submissions that we've done for our sync placements and whatnot, they always have said they want original music. 2, they don't want loops. So I think in that space, there's opportunity to not be, AI just can't bombard the sync space just yet, which is a lucrative area within the music industry.
Right.
So you'll be rewarded for your originality in that way. But outside of that, streams and whatnot, that's a different payout. Here's what I would say. I think, especially for our music, I think this is the best and the most opportune time for us because we have original music and we got enough in that catalog to keep giving and coming from us, which as AI is coming out, you're going to be able to separate what's real and
what's fake, right?
Because you're going to be able to feel, like, I just don't think that it can really complement that soul. As much as it can copy people with soul, it's just going to take a while. There's going to be a certain element. You might like it, but I don't know if you're going to be able to feel it.
It's still very novelty.
It doesn't have energy. You cannot replace, that is what AI doesn't have. That soul, that spirit, that energy, it can't translate. It doesn't matter how melodic it can sound, how pure it sounds. You can tweak the frequencies of the voice and whatnot to make it sound crispy, all of that. But you cannot replace the energy of sincerity. There's a lot of people that rap on songs and they say whatever and they lie. In the song, you might jump around, but you feel the truth way more than you feel a lie. And I'll leave it at that.
Definitely. You can still tell it's novelty more so. Because, for example, my fiance just sent me Barry White recreated 3-6 Mafia slob on my knob. And it's just like, it's
for
funny.
What? For what?
It's funny. It's novelty. I can't take it. So that means I can't take it serious. You will be able to tell. I can tell because people just joking around and doing that. Now, it's going to get more advanced. But again, at the end of the day, I feel that as we wrap it up, that it's all about using it as a tool. You got to think of auto-tune. Does auto-tune open the barrier to people that can't sing, right? However, at the end of the day,
still hear it.
If you put somebody in a live situation, they do have auto-tune live too.
But it's still
But it's still, what if that goes out? So you will still be able to tell who can really sing and who really gets vocal lessons and really has it within them and who can't sing at all and just strictly rely on auto-tune. So everything is just like a gun. A gun is a tool. You could kill a deer to feed your family or kill a man. It's all a tool. So my final stance is AI is a tool. Use it at your own discretion. But at the end of the day, we know it's real.
Got you. I'm here on that.
So any comments and concerns, your thoughts on how the AI world is shaping the music world, leave it in the comments below. And stay tuned for the next episode of Roc Radio. Watch that next video, boy. Thrizz13 and I.